What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today we'll be doing a technical analysis breakdown for strategy with the ticker symbol MSTR. I will first be going over what I see in the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. My goal for today is to show you guys what the market participants are doing and where prices most likely headed next. So today, slightly neutral, even though the candle is looking bullish. As you can see here, it looks like a little tail bar. There's still some indecision going on in the crypto market and crypto-related stocks because look at the news event. MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor will attend a White House summit with President Trump to discuss making the U.S. a leading hub for cryptocurrencies and creating a crypto reserve. So the market participants are not sure if that will be a good thing for the future of Bitcoin and crypto or a bad thing. So we haven't really seen aggressive buyers or aggressive sellers step in as of right now. Just prices kind of just going back and forth. You see the market or even MicroStrategy is pretty neutral today relative to other stocks that have severely dropped. So it is still just waiting for some sort of catalyst. I put down 3 steps that I need to see for a bottom to confirm or at least crystallize into a nice uptrend. So this bottom right here, the first one, the measure move was met. So for a long time, the measure move was in play. As you can see here, we saw one leg down by the bears, and the second leg started right back over here on December 5th. So since then, price was slowly trying to reach that target at the 240 level for a while. It took us a couple of months, and then what do you know? Eventually, it breaks down lower, and it breaks down lower. It hits the level right there. And that's where price started finding support and then trying to verse up higher. So the first criteria is meant for a bottom. Second one is a strong bounce. So sometimes when price reaches the measure move target, eventually it won't stop there, right? It just keeps on trending down lower, something like that. So that tells me that the trend is really strong and we have to look for lower price targets. But in this case, price stalled out right at that level and we did see a strong bounce. So I would say 1 and 2 are basically met. So we have 1 met and then 2 met. And then the third one, strong break of resistance. So technically, price is still um, not breaking out of resistance. We did see a nice break up to 320, but I want to see it get back above the 320 level and strongly break above it, not just a little touch of it or a little a wick. So you want to see a strong break of this level. See, even a break right here of the bears failed and price reversed back up. So you need to see strong continued buying off this level of this resistance zone, this downward sloping trend line, as you can see here, and this horizontal level that was prior support, but that was acting as somewhat of a resistance. Again, it could be just temporary, but we'll see. So I need to see that third criteria met, a strong break of resistance. Once that occurs, a strong break of 320, I'm pretty sure, again, I can't guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure we're just going to continue trending up higher. Maybe not in a straight line. Obviously, market doesn't move in a straight line, but we'll move in a strong wave formation, maybe something like that. I think it's not going to just come up here and then chop around. And, I don't think it's going to come up here or drop down lower. I don't think that's going to happen because you have to look at the macro as well. The macro is also looking very well. And I'll show you guys that in a second. I just want to talk about some side things, not just related to technical analysis. I think some of you guys like to hear my rants about, Bitcoin. You can't talk about MicroStrategy or strategy without talking about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, again, it's repricing the entire world. All the productivity gains that should flow to you from the advancement of technology and artificial intelligence and robotics that are coming out should flow to you in terms of lower prices. So that means MicroStrategy will benefit from the future technology. The productivity gains will flow towards strategy as well as a company. So their competitors like Microsoft, Nvidia, if they create something, well, that will also benefit MicroStrategy because they hold Bitcoin, which is repricing the entire world. So let me show you guys a simple illustration of what I mean. So let's say you have B to represent Bitcoin, and as Bitcoin is going up and in terms of dollars, you're able to buy, let's say a car. So let's say this car right here. Again, just don't worry about the picture. It's just a simple illustration. As Bitcoin is going up, or you're able to buy, more cars or something like that. Or let's say Bitcoin is just neutral because technically it's not really going up. It's things are going down relative to Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin is just staying as, let's just say one Bitcoin. It's staying stationary. But things as technology progresses, as technology goes up, that brings prices down. That does not happen in a fiat world because of lending and an increase in monetary supply. But in Bitcoin, since it's fixed, you can see the productivity gains through that currency. Now, let's say now people are, what they're doing is that, we have Bitcoin going up, and then they'll convert it into a fiat currency like a dollar and think the dollar is also going up. And then they'll take the dollar and then they'll buy the car and think, okay, well, I'm able to buy more cars now because Bitcoin went up, which means my dollar went up and I'll be able to buy more cars. But that's not the right way to look at it. You can just take out this middleman right here and just go straight to the commodity or the product that you want. So in uh, Bitcoin terms, life gets easier on a Bitcoin standard. Everything will fall in price relative to Bitcoin. But if you think of it in fiat terms, everything will rise in terms of fiat currency. As you can see throughout, the decades, Bitcoin's been around for a while now. It's about 15 years, going on 16 years, 15, 16 years since it's been known. That's quite a bit of time on the market. And ever since then, prices have fell relative to Bitcoin. Basically, everything you could think of in the marketplace has fell relative to Bitcoin. Everything risen in terms of fiat currency. So we don't need this median right here, this middle person or fiat currency to measure our productivity gains. Bitcoin's a fair value, it's fixed, and you can directly translate it over to anything you want to purchase. So you don't need this fiat currency. So it's not like your Bitcoin is going up. Technically, your Bitcoin is going up relative to the dollar because the dollar is getting weaker. It takes more dollars to buy the Bitcoin. So it's not really going up. It's just taking more dollars to buy the Bitcoin. So what does this all mean for MicroStrategy? Well, again, you can't talk about MicroStrategy without talking about Bitcoin. It means that they own 500,000 Bitcoin, and that's 2.5%, almost you could say 3% of the total supply that will ever exist for Bitcoin, because it's a protocol that we all agree upon that we don't want to increase the supply on. If you want to increase the supply on it, then you could try to change the program and see if people will follow you, and most likely they won't, and it's going to lead to another failure of a fork or another alt that other people don't want to use. So all the energy, or the strongest energy computational power decentralization, is backing Bitcoin, not any other crypto. So let's take a look at the weekly chart for MicroStrategy. Again, it's just basically a levered play on Bitcoin. This week so far is looking bullish. We definitely saw a nice strong bounce. Still a couple more hours left, or another hour and a half left in the market. We'll see what happens. Again, I'm waiting for some sort of catalyst. It looks like the market is waiting for some sort of catalyst. Let me show you guys Bitcoin's chart. It'll make a lot more sense. So look at Coinbase. Let's see. I think I'll look at Bitfinex is when I have or Bitstamp. I have my drawings of Bitstamp. So let's go to the daily chart. So again, we're waiting for some sort of catalyst for Bitcoin. It's stuck again between two converging levels. We have this upward sloping trend line, as you can see here, that fits pretty good. Something like that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 3 just in the past couple of weeks. And then we have this downward sloping trend line right here. So again, we have a converging pattern. Once again, price is just chopping back and forth. If it does continue this way, that will take late March before we see some sort of breakout to the bottom of the highs. But I don't think it's going to take that long. I hope it doesn't. It's just wasting time. We know it's going to go up. It's just wasting time at this point. So we'll see what happens. Expecting price to break out higher, and then MicroStrategy will most likely follow as well. But again, that's what is going on with Bitcoin. It's just converging between two trend lines and waiting for some sort of catalyst to take place. Again, just the technicals are already showing it's trying to break out higher, and I think any sort of catalyst, bigger than what we have already been seeing with the crypto reserve or Bitcoin reserve, something soon. I think they did have a talk this Friday, so maybe over the weekend we see Bitcoin rally, and then MicroStrategy opens up more bullish next week. We'll have to wait and see, or maybe even bearish. Who knows what's going to happen? I don't know for sure what's going to happen, but I do know that prices will continue to fall relative to Bitcoin if it stays decentralized and secure, as Jeff Boot says. It's practically guaranteed. If it stays decentralized and secure, prices will continue to fall relative to Bitcoin because it's a honest measuring device. Fiat currency is not honest. You cannot see the productivity gains drop. Let's say it's 100 years ago and they started industrialized farming. Shouldn't it be cheaper to, make bread? Because you can run, the John Deere across the farm, harvest quicker, less labor. It should be a lot cheaper, to make the grain. But why is the grain price going up? Because there's an increase in the money supply. If there's more money chasing a certain amount of goods, then it's just supply and demand. And then the supply is relatively fixed. You can't increase it as much. And then there's an influx of fiat currency trying to buy a certain amount of goods. And then the price has to catch up. And that's why you see the price go up. But in terms of Bitcoin, it's fixed. So things are dropping. It's basically the inverse in the entire system we live in. It's the inverse. So let's take a look at the weekly charts just to close this out. And as you can see here, still holding up very well. We have a nice upward trend, nice strong structure as well, right? This is healthy. Like if I'm a doctor or a dentist and I'm looking at your teeth, this is nice and healthy right here, this structure right here, versus something like this right here back in the prior bull market in 2020 into 2021. This is unsustainable and it cannot persist for a long time. This type of trend can last a lot longer. So it's a nice staircase type of a trend. So you can see it goes up and then it has like a staircase formation to it. This is what you want to see. This is a good sign. Another thing is that we're still above the bullish trend line. So we have this bullish trend line right here. And then we have the second one right over here. And we're right at it. So we haven't seen anything yet. So again, if we go back to history, we have this trend line right here. And then let's say we have the second trend line right here. We haven't even seen the third and fourth trend lines. So we haven't even seen this trend line right here, the steeper one, or even the fourth one, something like that. So generally you'll see four for a trend that's coming to an end, a specific type of trend, which I believe MicroStrategy will follow because it's just that type of personality. So we haven't even seen the third and fourth angles. So let's say the third one is starting now, and generally it's going to be about like 60, 70 degrees. Again, that could take price quickly, towards those price levels I speak of, and maybe even a fifth angle or fourth angle. So again, we haven't even seen what should occur. You're not guaranteed, but what generally occurs in these types of markets. So again, if we're going to see some consolidation, probably for the rest of the month, I'm hoping it doesn't take that long. Shouldn't, but again, sometimes it can happen like that. But if not, expecting some catalyst to take place very shortly and then just send this up to the stratosphere. So I have for MicroStrategy on the daily weekly charts. This is Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.